All right, hello everyone. Let's talk about this honey warmer slash honey dryer. I've been wanting to show you guys this for a little while. I bought this at an auction. It was obviously a refrigerator that I've repurposed, and one of the reasons that I went with this option is because these drawers, they slide like this. And so in a tight space like what I'm working with right here, the doors aren't going to open up into the room and make it harder for me to maneuver and get things in there and everything like that. It's big enough that I can stick a whole honey super in there if I want. I mean, I could stack up multiples. You know, I could just get some spacers and stick them in here and stack up multiples and dry out more than one at a time. Here in Oklahoma, we've got a lot of humidity, so sometimes it takes the bees a while to go ahead and cap that honey. And once the nectar dries up and they've still got honey uncapped, it seems like it takes even longer. And my theory on that is they don't have a whole lot coming in, so they're not gonna make a bunch of wax to cap honey when they don't have a bunch of nectar coming in. So this gives me the opportunity to stick it in here and dry out the cells that are open to where I can go ahead and extract it and have something that'll keep long term. So how this works is I've got a dehumidifier sitting here on this upper shelf. I've got more shelves that can go in here. This is just kind of what I got right now. And that dehumidifier is plugged into a temperature controller over here. It's an Inkbird temperature controller, does heating and cooling or whatever. And so basically what this will do, once the temperature is 3 degrees below what it's set to, it'll kick on that dehumidifier. That dehumidifier will heat up the space, but it'll also dry out the air at the same time. One thing you do want to watch out for, though, if you pull supers and stick them in here, you do want to come in here and check and make sure you don't have beetles laying larvae in here. Sometimes there'll be some pollen up in the frames, or if it was a brood frame before, you could have that issue, so you'll want to watch out for that. But I've got a little deal that checks the humidity here, but basically I'm testing the actual honey to see when it's ready to go. That's it. It's pretty simple. I may get grab the camera here and just show you guys some close-ups of some stuff, but I've got some honey that I've went ahead and bottled underneath here. It can keep it warm, won't crystallize or whatever. There's some of this year's honey. It's nice and light. I guess you can see that in the camera. Got some under there in case somebody comes by and wants some. So I'll show you guys the thermostat here, how that works, and you can set it so whenever the temperature gets down 3 degrees below this, so it'll kick it back on. I don't like to get my honey above 95 degrees, so if I set it at 97, 96, somewhere in that range, it won't. I mean, it'll get up to that temperature and then cut off, and it kind of drops down to 95 pretty quick. So I'll kind of show you guys, that's the dehumidifier. I'll make that hole a little bit more sealed at some point, but it's just plugged in there. There's my little deal where I can read the humidity. Like I said, it was at 58. I've been opening and shutting this quite a bit. There's my frames that are only partially capped, and then I was using this as an uncapping tank, and this was underneath my extractor, but there you can see I just did like 4 frames, and so I didn't want to go through the trouble of cleaning all this out, so I just got it in here. It's nice and warm in here, so it'll go ahead and drain out. And then I've got some honey in here, and then I just got this little drip tray here because you can see how dry this honey is in this thing. See how it's not even running, and it's, what is it, like 96 degrees in here? And this honey's not even running because the dehumidifier is just drying it out. Whereas if you look at this honey, that's more the correct moisture. Look at how runny it is in here because of the temperature. So let me put this in here so you can see better. Because the temperature's 95 degrees in here, 94, 95 degrees. So you can see that does pull quite a bit of moisture out of this honey. Something to think about. See, I got some honey in here. If you guys are running into similar issues with your honey, if you just got some frames that are never going to get capped in your area like I've got, this is one good option. And sorry my shop is such a mess. That's another beauty of this is it's the dust is controlled because it's sealed, so I can be making a mess in here. I see I was making some lids here. I'll show you this. So I'm making some migratory lids. I've glued these together with, you know, these little dowels. And then I've got, looks like I cut these maybe for the ends of the lids here. Sometimes when I'm building stuff, I'll just make extras of whatever it is that I'm building, and then later on so like all these are just loose pieces of wood that I've stacked roughly the size. I'll glue all these together and then I'll run them through the table saw, and they'll be exactly the right length that way. So I got that kind of staged, and over here I've well, here's some double screen boards, but here's the spacers. I think I cut all these for lids too, and then these would be the spacers that I'm going to put on the lid like this, so that I can have some B space on top of the frames, stick a pollen patty in there or whatever. But hopefully you found this interesting or useful. I appreciate you watching. I'm gonna end this now. It's super hot. Not a whole lot to film out in the bee yard, unless you want to watch some robbing and stuff like that. Maybe I'll show that. I did have a colony kind of getting robbed out. So thanks for watching.